Hi everyone. So welcome to the live stream today as we continue with our introductory discussion issues that we need to understand. In the previous session, we spoke about the ICAG, the various issues, subject combination, how to structure yourself to pass the examination, and we also spent the time to look at the entry requirements and those various issues you must understand about the ICAG. Now, in today's discussion, we want to get excited into some few issues, starting with the issue in respect of the various career opportunities available when you do the ICA. That is the first thing we're going to be doing in that case. Then I'm also going to be taking any questions you have and providing you with some strategies on the various things that you must understand to put yourself in the position to pass the examination. So welcome to the stream. Any questions you have, put it in the comment section or the chat for me, and I will be answering your questions for you as we proceed in the discussion today for our live sessions. So let me bring up my screen quickly and let me see if I can bring this in. So remember that our live lectures are currently ongoing or will be starting from the 8th of December. Give me a sec. I think my slide is delaying. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. So remember that our live lectures will be starting from the 8th of December 2025, and we are providing lectures across all the papers, across the levels in that case. So if you are planning to sit for the March 2026 examination, you can visit our website, nhyirapremium.com, and enroll in our course today. Your enrollment is going to give you access to be able to get the content as well as study directly under my mentorship with the team here as we assist you so you can go into the exam hall, write the exam with confidence, and most importantly, pass the examination. Remember also that we have our books available that you can get access to. Remember in the previous session, we spoke about the importance of having books. And so we have our manuals available that you can get access to on public sector, financial reporting, advanced audit and assurance, strategic case study, corporate reporting. We have volume 1 and volume 2 all available. Taxation, management accounting, financial management. We have all of these available that you can get access to. And you can get these materials. Just hit us up with the number on your screen, scrolling below the screen, and then hit us up and then send a message on WhatsApp or call, and you will be assisted to be able to get the book. Wherever you are located, delivery can be arranged so that you can get access to the content and then get these books to prepare well for the examination. One of the key things you must understand is that our manuals come with a lot of practice questions in them. So you are not just learning, but you are going through the principles and also having the access to the practice questions so you can go into the exam or write the exam with confidence and most importantly pass the examination. And that is very important for you to understand that. So the key question we want to ask ourselves quickly here is, what are some of the career opportunities available when it comes to the ICAG? Because or if you are doing ACCA. Because one thing you will hear is that many people think, oh, if you become a chartered accountant, you do your ICA, your ACCA, you pass your examination, then you'll be able to work in the big 4 audit firms. But that is just about 10% or below 10% of the potential available in respect of what you can become ultimately when you pass this examination. And so what we want to do briefly is to walk you through some of the things you must understand generally when it comes to the options available. And we've divided this into the 4 pillars of the accounting career, and we're going to go through these 4 things and then let you understand the various opportunities available. And you must understand that at the end of the day, there are a lot available here that you can do. And so the reason again we are touching on this is because of some of the questions we've had in the past where people are like, okay, Nhyira, if I should do ICAG, or maybe I'm at a point and I'm thinking about career. So if I become a chartered accountant, what is in it for me? What am I going to get at the end of the day? What are the opportunities available? What can I do? How much money can I make? These are some of the concerns, and that is what we want to try to address in the presentation today as we begin the discussion. So let's start with the first pillar, and that is the practice or public practice. This is the usual one that people know about, and it is the traditional route where you work in the big four audit firms, the KPMGs, the Deloitte, the EY, Ernst & Young, and PwC. That's the starting point. And some medium-sized firms. That's the starting point. And so many a times you see people, they finish the ACCA or the ICA, or they are in the middle of it. They are looking for an accounting firm, an audit firm to be in. And as I said, that is just less than 10% of the entire market or opportunities or career path available for the chartered accountant. So, but that is the first thing, is the traditional route. Now, this route, you're going to be starting usually as a junior or an associate. And that could be between 1 to 3 years, or depending on the entity's policy. And here, you're going to be working for long hours, and there will be a high learning curve at the end of the day because you are now coming in, and there are various things that you have to learn. But that is the starting point. Now, the salary here, again, at a competitive level, is on the average between 2,000 to 5,000 Ghana cedi a month. Again, it depends on the size of the firm. Because sometimes when we are talking about salary negotiation in HR, people are like, yo, yeah, this position, they pay 5,000 Ghana cedis here. Why are you guys paying only 2,000? You know, there are various factors you have to take into consideration. So one firm may be paying for junior audits employees maybe 3,000 or 4,000. Another firm may be smaller and may pay 2,000 or 2,500, but it is between 2,000 and 5,000 Ghana cedis per month, depending on the size of the firm. In other words, you can even get other companies that may pay you more than that. But that is the starting point, 0 to 3 years. If you are still in the game and you are interested, you come to the second level, that is the senior associate. You become a senior associate in the audit firm, right? And that is 3 to 5 years. Here, it means you're going to lead a team on site. So here you are like the boss a little bit, but you got to be careful here because if you screw up, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. When you're a junior or just an associate, there are a lot of people supervising what you're doing. So even if you screw up, your supervisor is going to see it and fix it. But if you become a senior associate, your risk is becoming more at the end of the day, and that is between 3 to 5 years. And this is where sometimes other audit firms may try to come and even poach you and take you out. After that, we come to the manager or senior manager level, and this is where you are managing a whole client's portfolio. So you're not just leading a team on site, but you are managing a whole client, their portfolio. Okay, so if this client, what we are doing for them, we are doing audits for them, we are doing some other non-assurance services for them, maybe we are working on their taxes, working on this. So you are going to be managing a whole portfolio, and you're going to be selling your services at the end of the day. After that, you go to the final level where you become a partner of the audit firm. Now remember, it depends again on the size of the company, but by the time you are becoming a partner, it means you've been in the game for some maybe a decade or more, right? So by the time you are becoming a partner of an audit firm, you may have been there for like 10, 15, or in some cases 20 years. It depends on the size of the company or size of the firm in question. But that is where, now this is where you become, or you own a piece of the firm, because you are you are on executive level, and your salary is going to be ranging between 5 or 6 figures per month, because you are a big dog, if we can put it that way, at this level. And that is the idea about the first option available. Again, this is just about 10% of the opportunities. So that is the first thing. And this is where many people feel, hey, if I charter, I need an audit firm. If I charter, I need an audit firm. If I charter, I have to work in accounting field, an accounting firm. That is just 10% of the pie. So we have 90% or more that we have to talk about. So what are these 90% or more options that we need to talk about? That's the second one. This is where we come to the corporate or the industry level. And this is where there is big money. Okay, so here you are working directly for companies like the telcos, MTN, Telecel, the banks, right? The mining companies, the construction companies. So you are in the normal corporate world. At this level, you're going to be having roles such as maybe a financial accountant, basic level, preparing records, financial statements. Or you could be a management accountant internally, because every company needs a management accountant. And so that is another opportunity available where you become the management accountant for the company. And this is for internally, in determining costs, pricing decisions, risk management to some level, and all of those things. So management accountant, that's the second level. You can become the treasury manager, and you are managing the cash and the liquidity. Now, this is very important. So working capital management, very important for the company. And so you are the treasury manager. That is another option available as a career path for you. Then the fourth thing is where you want to sit. You are sitting at the board. And this is where you become the CFO of the company. This is where you become the CFO. So really, at the level of the CFO, it will start from some levels, like maybe you become a finance officer, then you become a finance manager, then you become a financial controller, then you become a CFO. Now, depending again on the type of company in question, there are some companies where the CFO is part of the people on the board. Whilst there are other companies, it is only the CEO that will be on the board. So it depends on the structure of the company in question that we are dealing with. So it's not just about, hey, Charlie, I want to be in an audit firm. I want to be in an audit firm. No. You can do the traditional thing, work for other companies, and be an accountant, be a management accountant there, or be a treasury manager there, or be a CFO. All of these will come with a lot of money because there is a higher immediate salary than the audit firm. And to some extent, there could be some work-life balance. To some extent, there could be some work-life balance here. But that is the second area of the opportunities available if you have to pursue this program. So, yes, some people want to work in audit firms. It's okay. But we also have other options available, and that is the second category available. Then we come to the third category. This is the public sector. Many a times, students overlook this. Many people don't want to serve or work in the public sector, but there's a lot of opportunity also available in the public sector. So if you become a chartered accountant, you don't just say, oh, I want to work in an audit firm. No, you can work in the public sector, because everything going on in the public sector, every ministry, department, agency, metropolitan, municipal, or district assembly needs the work of chartered accountants. They need some level of accounting people there. So in the public sector, it is really an area that has a lot of opportunities. Now, I understand the skirmishes involved in why many people try to shun public sector. Like, you know, the fact that some things, because look at some of the things going on in Ghana here, right? The Public Accounts Committee hearing, the various companies that are, entities that are coming before the Public Accounts Committee. And you look at the errors being committed in the financial statement. Contracts awarded, payment made without approval, people are dead and they are still paying their salary. Then you ask yourself, don't they have internal auditors? They do. All of these organizations have internal auditors. So why weren't they able to flag those transactions? So, yeah, there are some challenges there, but there is a lot of opportunity in the public sector. So, Ghana Revenue Authority, there are roles there, tax auditing and compliance issues. The audit service, there are roles there working for the audit service, Auditor General. You go around, do the auditing and various things. So that's a huge or significant opportunity there for you in that case. Then at the Controller Accountant General, it's also another place that we need to look out for, because as I said, each of these companies will have or will need an accountant. Each of these entities in the public sector will need an accountant. Ministries, department, agencies, metropolitan municipal district assemblies, they will need finance accountants, they will need internal auditors. You, with your role here, build up will help you to be able to take those roles. Then another thing is forensic auditing, like investigating into financial crime, like YOCO, okay, Financial Intelligence Bureau, and those people. Forensic auditing. We need people like you. So if you become a chartered accountant, not only will you say, oh, I'm working for the audit firm. No, you could work in the public sector and you're at YOCO, or you are at FIC, or any other entity, maybe a bank or an insurance company, and you are doing forensic auditing for them, because insurance companies need those people as well. And your understanding here, it's going to be helping you, because if you are learning in level 3 in advanced audit and assurance, you're going to be learning about some of the non-assurance services. And one of those non-assurance services is issues about forensic audit, right? Forensic audit. And so this is an area, and we don't have a lot of people in that field. So there is some deficit there, which you can leverage on if you are coming in. So forensic, where do we apply it? A lot of areas, right? So we will need you. Maybe there is a fraud, there is an embezzlement of funds. You will be coming and do forensic auditing. Insurance claim by insurance companies, they will need you to do that, because one of the things that people say, oh, you do the insurance, and if it's time to make payment, the insurance company doesn't want to make payment. Yes, because the insurance company cannot just sit down and then you come and say, oh, I insured this, it happened, give me my, indemnify me. No, the insurance company doesn't do that. So that is where the forensic auditors are going to come in. And they're going to look at, okay, what policy did you buy? Have you been paying your premium? What is the coverage of the policy? The thing that you insured against, was that what happened? Okay. Did you influence what happened, or what happened naturally? All of those things, forensic auditing, that expertise will be needed coming in from the accounting field and helping to do that. So for instance, there is a fire outbreak in your house or at the office, and you've insured against fire in your house, and you've insured against fire. For all intents and purposes, you think that after the fire, the insurance company will pay out the money. Then the insurance company is going to come. Forensic auditors are going to come around, and they're going to read a police report. They're going to talk to you. Now, I want to give you an example here quickly. This is advanced audit and assurance, but I want to give you an example here quickly so you understand what I'm talking about. So let's say that they come in your house. It's gone. Then they ask you, hey, what happened? Then you are like, oh, I was ironing. Then my phone rang because my husband said he will call me when he gets to the office or when he gets to the mall, so that I'll give him an instruction for something. And so I left the iron on the ironing board, not standing upright, but in the ironing position on the dress. I forgot, and I went to pick the call talking to my husband before I realized the house is on fire. You think the insurance company will pay you after hearing that story? No, because there is negligence on your part. Okay, on your part. You knew that the house was insured against fire. So that was why you didn't take it serious and you were not conscious of it and you just left the iron. Because after all, if the house burns, the insurance company will pay you. And those are some of the circumstances under which you have insured, and the events that you insured against had happened, but the insurance company will not give you all the money, or sometimes they won't give you anything. All because of what you said when you were reporting about what happened. And so that is why best practice will say that. Now, this is just for practice purposes, right? Best practice will say that if something serious happens to you, you are involved in an accident, fire outbreak or something, in that moment, make sure you don't speak. If people will be coming and will be asking you, hey, what happened? Hey, then they see, mini eba, no more fe, like then eba, don't speak. Keep quiet. Because in that moment, whatever you say can be used as evidence against you in court, if the issue end up in court, and also can be used against you for insurance claim purposes. So that is just something you need to understand. When you get to advanced audit and assurance and you're learning forensic auditing in the level 3, you'll be able to get some of these things there. Or maybe marriage, right? Marriage. Forensic auditing is also required in the court system. Okay, marriage dispute. So people are divorcing. And we need to know how much assets or what assets the husband is having, the wife is having, the woman is having, the man is having. Okay, we need a forensic accountant, a forensic investigator to go behind the scene to fish all of those things out and be able to value the property or value those properties. So in those divorce settlement issues, forensic accountant is going to be needed there. Forensic auditor is going to be needed. So if you pay attention closely, you realize that there is a lot on the table. There are a lot of options available. So the question you need to ask yourself is, okay, this is a good profession. This is a profession that has a lot of respect. This is a profession that is going to pay a lot. Which area do I want to focus on? Which area do I want to optimize myself on so I can do what I love, get paid, and most importantly, enjoy my life at the end of the day? And that is what you must understand there about that area that is called a hidden gem, forensic auditing. So maybe you are listening to this, you are thinking about your career, maybe you are in ICAG level 2 or level 3, or maybe you have even finished. Maybe instead of just sitting down saying that, hey, I want an accounting job, how about looking at forensic auditing? Look into it. That is an area that you could get some opportunity, because sometimes lack of information and lack of knowledge, right? It puts you at a position that you don't like. But the qualification you have, you could have applied for that job and you could have done it if you had the knowledge and the expertise at the end of the day. So that is something you want to understand in there. Now, here, there is a lot of job security, okay? Especially if you are working in the public sector on all these things. I mean, government benefit and pension, subject to the fact that you won't suffer haircuts at the end of the day for someone's mismanagement. And then the ability to influence national policy, because you are involved in the various things that are being done and you influence various national policies. So these are the third, if you want, cluster of opportunities available, job offer, career opportunities, and this is strictly in the public sector. But as I said, you could see how I have narrowed it, I have expanded it into insurance, into the court system, judiciary, and in various other areas available. That's the third area that you must understand. The fourth area is what we call the entrepreneurship and consultancy. Here, it's more or less like a boss move. Here, you are not necessarily at somebody's mercy. In other words, here what is happening is that you are going to eat what you are able to kill, literally. So You are the boss. This is where you are providing consultancy services. So maybe at a point you have your own consultancy firm and you want some freedom. You don't want to wake up 4 a.m., be in queue and get off to the office 8:30, close at 7 p.m., be in another queue and come home 10 p.m. You don't want to do that. Okay, if you don't want to do that, then there's another option available for you. And that is the fourth level, the entrepreneurship and consultancy. Now, you got to be careful here, because what is happening at this level is that you not only are you a chartered accountant, but then you should also be licensed by ICAG and any various other institution to be able to do what you are doing. Because if you don't have a license and you try to practice, ICAG will come for you. Because the mere fact that you are a chartered accountant does not mean you have the license to practice accounting. You got to be careful about that as well. But that is the fourth layer. Now, normally, what we see is that here, this is where you see a lot of adults coming in. So people in their 40s, 50s, 60s, we see them here. But if you're young accountants coming up and you have chartered by 28 or whatever, 30, you have chartered, you can work your way and become your own consultants, give and take by 35. Or even less than, far less than that. Right? Far less than that, and you are controlling your destiny. Here, a couple of options available, like a tax consultant, helping SMEs to file their tax returns. A lot of startups in Ghana are looking for this, so it's an opportunity available. Now, if you are going to be offering tax consultancy services, that means that if you finish your ICAG, you must go do CIT instead of the Chartered Institute of Taxation Ghana. Okay? Because you add that layer. Because one of the things you must understand is that as you proceed in the profession, you realize that, the professions are intertwined. Because if you're a chartered accountant from CA and you go to the CIT, you get some significant amount of exemptions, and then you have just some few papers, boom, then you become a chartered tax person, right? Because of the amount of issues in the ICAG about taxes and what you are learning in the ICAG. But you can become a tax consultant. It's an area that is really, I call it a cash cow. It's a cash cow area. Also, an area that is a little secluded because there are just a few people who are really doing this. So if you are looking for an opportunity, forget, don't say, hey, I want to work in the audit firm. Hey, I want to work in no, you can become a tax consultant. It's an area that pays a lot. Why? Because nobody wants to pay tax. That's the truth. Nobody wants to pay tax. So a company will be willing, a company will be willing to pay you, say, 100,000 Ghana cedis, whilst you help them to avoid tax of $1 million or above $1 million. It's okay. That is what they don't care. They can give you 100,000 cedis. You help them avoid taxes of over $1 million cedis or more. It's good for them. It's a win-win. Remember, as tax avoidance is legal, tax evasion is illegal. Okay? Now, tax evasion is where you deliberately decide not to pay your taxes by overstating your expenses, understating your income, omitting your income, and all of those things. Keeping two or separate books of accounts. All of those illegal means to reduce your tax burden are tax evasion, or can be described as tax evasion. But if you use the loopholes available in the tax law to reduce your tax burden, then you are avoiding taxes. And companies want to avoid tax a lot. That is why sometimes you look at, they say, look at the money that the company is making. Look at the small amount of tax they are paying. Yeah, because they have employed a tax consultant and they've given them money. And the tax consultants, they will read the tax code very well. They know. and they know how to structure every deal to ensure that the tax liability of the entity is reduced. Do you see the idea? So, for instance, an area of this that I think must be looked at is the churches in Ghana. Okay, churches. I think churches in Ghana must begin to employ tax experts to help them in the things that they are doing. You see, in our part of the world here in Ghana, it's like anybody that talks about taxes for churches, they think the person is a demon, the person is an antichrist, the person doesn't want the kingdom of God to proceed or to be successful. But funny enough, if you read the Bible, Jesus Christ paid taxes. He actually commanded us to pay taxes. And Paul wrote several times saying that we must undertake our civic responsibilities in a society. So I think a time has come where churches must begin to employ tax consultants to help them arrange their deals, their structures very well. Why am I saying that? Let me give you an example. You see, if a pastor, let's say a pastor prays for you, and what the pastor prays for you happens, and then you go and give the pastor $100,000, that is an income, and the pastor receives the money in his name or in her name. So, Reverend Nhyira Premium. I don't want any trouble. Let me use my own name. Reverend Nhyira Premium. So, I pray for you. Then, what you wanted comes to pass. Then you say, oh, Reverend Nhyira, I have come to thank you and I've given you $100,000. Then I received that $100,000 in my name. Now, if we look at law, the tax code, that $100,000, I am supposed to pay tax on it. Why? Because I earned income. But this is where the pastors, some of the pastors will come and quote scripture that, oh, this is the work of God we have done, and the work of God, it is supposed to be used by the pastor. No. We don't run a country using Bible. We run the country using laws. And the law is that if you earn income, you pay tax on it. So if the pastor receives the $100,000, Reverend Nhyira Premium, I received the $100,000 in my name, then it is an income I have earned. Per civic responsibility and as per the Bible, if we look at scriptures, as a true man of God and a responsible man of God as such, Nhyira Premium, I have to go to GRA and file my tax returns and pay tax on this $100,000. Please, don't get emotional. We run a country not on Bible. We run a country based on laws. Don't get emotional here. Now, if I don't want this $100,000 to be subject to tax, there is a way I can do it, and it is called tax avoidance. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to still pray for you, but now that $100,000 will come into my ministry. So Nhyira Premium Ministries International. So it will be a donation to the ministry, which is an entity on its own. And that way, I didn't earn the money myself. So you can't say you will tax me. Now, this is where tax avoidance is coming in. This is where tax planning is coming in. So, Reverend Nhyira Premium, I wouldn't come here and be shouting, why does the government want to tax pastors? Do you know what the pastors are doing? Shut up. Keep quiet. We are talking about laws, and Jesus Christ commanded the church and himself to pay tax. So, what do? That $100,000 that I have prayed for you, that you are sowing the seed, you put it into my ministry. Now, if that $100,000 I wanted to buy a car with it, we will buy the car in the name of the ministry for ministerial work. So the car is not in my name. If I want to buy a house, the house is not in my name. What does it mean? I enjoy everything, I own nothing. This is tax. And if you go to UK, US, another part of the world where the church is under close scrutiny, that is how the thing is structured. It is tax avoidance. So that nobody can come. Because I didn't receive the $100,000. The $100,000 was given as a donation to my ministry, NP Ministry International. And the ministry went to buy a vehicle. Okay? What car can I get with $100,000? I can get a car, right? So whatever car I can get for $100,000, we buy it. In the name of the ministry, not in my name, Nhyira Premium. Who is driving the car? I'm driving the car. Why did the ministry buy the car? For ministerial purposes. That is called tax avoidance. So instead of sitting down and shouting, there is an attack on the church, there is no attack on the church. Employ tax experts in your church so that they can structure your tax system in such a way that no government authority can come and command you to do certain things that you are not supposed to do. That is what it is. And as churches, when you pay taxes, when you pay your people, employees, you're supposed to withhold PAYE and remit that to the Ghana Revenue Authority. The question is, how many churches, especially these one-man show churches, are doing this? So I think that this is a phase in the country where many churches must begin to employ qualified tax experts and pay them. Go and look at the Catholic Church. Go to other churches in America, other churches in Europe. They spend millions of dollars every year for a consultant services to help manage the resources of the church. Because if the resources are not classified well, the church will be under obligation to pay tax. Why? Because we run the country not based on the Bible, we run the country based on laws. So this is a field that I think, I don't know how this is going to be taken, but I think it's a wind that is going to be blowing as we go into the future. So maybe if you are somebody who is building your career now, try that and consider that as well, how you deal with church tax planning, so that we structure the church's finances in such a way that we reduce the tax liabilities of the church. And a classical example is what I gave you here. I prayed for you. You came and sowed a seed in my life. Per the laws, I am supposed to pay tax on it. I can't sit somewhere and say, I prayed for you, it is God. No. That's not how we run a country. Do you get the idea? But then, if I don't want to pay that tax, then don't give me the money in the name of Nhyira Premium. You rather write the check or give the money to my ministry, Nhyira Premium Ministries. Whatever I want to use the money for, maybe I want to buy a new car, I buy the car in the name of the ministry for ministerial work. I didn't write a tax code. I didn't write the tax law. That is how the tax law is. All I am saying is leverage the tax law so you don't rant around. And sometimes when I see, people become overworked of themselves, thinking that, when we are talking about taxes in the church, then we are trying to target the church. Do you know what the church is doing? No. Jesus Christ paid tax. And Jesus Christ said, we should give to Kaiser what is Kaiser's and give to God what is God. And Paul encouraged us to undertake our civic duty. How do you expect to drive on a good road, to live in a good community? Expect the Ghana Fire Service to come to your aid. Expect the police to protect you. Expect the military to protect you if you are a pastor and you are not paying taxes. How? And so, what do? Let's sit down and plan your tax. So I think it is a field that may be gaining grounds as we move ahead. And it's all about education. If some of the churches are already established, they have those things in place. I cannot mention their name for some reason, but if churches will understand that, oh, this is how the system is supposed to be, you will run your church, never have any issue with the government, and you will live your life and happy, and nothing will affect you. That's the thing. So tax consultant, it's a level you got to look at. Then business advisory. This is a significant area. Every accounting firm has this division in their business. Business advisory. So this is where you're helping foreign companies set up in Ghana, or even local companies offering some advisory services. It could be on various other issues that they are looking at, right? It could be a tax-related advisory. It could be how they must structure certain transactions. So, for instance, there is a merger arrangement, okay? Allegedly, they said they are looking at merger arrangement between Airtel, Tigo, and Telecel. Allegedly, oh, please don't go and say it somewhere. Allegedly. So, for instance, if Airtel, Tigo, and Telecel want to merge, they will need an advisor. They will need somebody to come in and evaluate and structure everything. Who do they call? A business advisory from an accounting firm. And we must structure that merger arrangement to ensure that the shareholders of Airtel, Tigo do not suffer. The shareholders of Telecel will also have their tax liabilities or position reducing significantly. So these are some of the things under business advisory. Or somebody is going into business, and you need to advise the person what kind of industry they want to go into. So somebody comes to you and say they want to start a business. Okay, you want to start a business? All right. The first question I will ask you is, how old are you? Because if you are below 35 years, then there is the young entrepreneurship tax incentive available for you. So if you are below 35 years, then there's a young entrepreneurship opportunity available for you. So if you want to start that business, don't register it as a sole proprietorship business. I want you to register it as what? A private limited liability company. Because that way you can enjoy a lot of tax incentive. You are below 35, you go into agro processing, you go into manufacturing, you are going into IT and all of those things. The tax incentives are available. You can carry over losses for 5 years. And you are not going to pay taxes for the first 5 years of your business. That is business advisory. So you don't just get up and say, I have started a business. No. You need somebody to advise you. Okay, so you are below 35 years. Okay, what kind of business do you want to go into? Yeah, I want to establish an IT firm. Good. Because the first 5 years, you're not going to pay any tax. The second 5 years, you're going to pay a concessory tax rate. It's the third, fifth year that you're going to come and pay standard rate. If you want to go into agro processing or you want to go into agriculture, there are tax incentives available for you if you are a young entrepreneur below 35 years. But if you register it as a sole proprietor, you will not get such benefits. But if it is a private limited liability company, you will get those benefits. Those are the things under business advisory. You get the level. So at this level, as I said earlier, you are eating what you kill, generally. So you are advising people. You are an expert in this in the field, and you are telling people what they can do, what they must not do. Or someone comes to you and the person says, hey, listen, I want to invest some money. Please, this is just an example, okay? Don't take it out of context. I have $100,000, and I don't know what to do with the $100,000. Okay. So you're a business advisory or you're a consultant. The person will pay you to help them on how they can use this or what they should use this $100,000 for. Okay, what do you want to do? I want to start a business. Okay. Or I want to, invest the money. I don't want to be an entrepreneur. I want to rather invest the money. Okay. If you want to start a business, then the various things that I mentioned earlier will apply. If the person doesn't want to be an entrepreneur, then you have to invest the money. Okay, what kind of investment do you want to do? Okay, do you want to invest in government bonds? Do you want to invest in shares? Do you want to become a venture capital entity where you are investing in early startups? There are risk, rewards on all of those things. What are you doing? All these things are covered under business advisory. So you see that this field has a lot to offer. And if you understand it and you enjoy it, you can structure deals, structure things in such a way that you can make money over and over and over again. And everybody, it doesn't matter if you go to the audit firm and go and start your career there. It doesn't matter if you're in the public sector. It doesn't matter if you are working for traditional companies. At some point, you need to become a consultant and providing advisory services, because there you are moving like a boss and you are solving practical problems for people and you are making money at the end of the day. So that is also the second issue that we must understand there, business advisory. There is a lot of opportunities there. But as I said, that by the time you are getting to business advisory level, it means you are like, it means you've been in the game over a decades, 2 decades, 3 decades. Like you should, because the thing is that you can't advise people on something you don't know. It doesn't mean you cannot do it as a young person. If you're a young person here, you can do it. It means you know the things well, like the things I'm sharing with you here, right? Like a young person wants to go into business. The first question I'll ask you is, how old are you? Because if you are below 35 years, there is something we can do about that. There is a way the business has to be structured. There is a way, and there is an industry available that you can get yourself into to reduce your tax burden. Because right from the word go, we must structure your business in such a way to benefit you. But if you just start your business with vibes and inshallah, then later on, that will come back and come and bite you. So it's a huge area that you can leverage on as well in this field. And Nuntina, this field is a profitable field. Okay? It's a profitable field. So these are some of the things you get and you can do here. Then the fourth thing is a part-time CFO. And this is where you're offering high-level financial strategies to, different companies who cannot afford you full-time. Okay, so you're a part-time CFO for the company. All right, because these are, maybe they are small firms and they can't employ you because you will say, hey, probably 40,000, right, a month. In that regard, they can't pay you 40,000, but hey, maybe you come in once a week or twice a month to come and advise and check certain things, and they'll be willing to give you every year maybe some 50,000 or 60,000 or $100,000. That will be below what they would have paid you if you're a full-time CFO. So that is also available there in that case. So these are the areas available under that fourth pillar, entrepreneurship and consultancy. So again, there are a lot of opportunities available here. My question to you is, which one do you want? Do you want to start with the first one, being an accounting firm? Do you want to do the normal corporate gig as many people are doing? Or you want to come to the public sector and offer your services in the public sector? Or better still, you want to be your own boss? Do tax consultancy, business advisory, or a part-time CFO. Whatever option you are choosing, there are a lot of opportunities available that you can get access to. But in addition to all these, there are some new trends coming you have to watch. This is 2026 and above, okay? 2025, 2026 and beyond. The future. So in addition to everything that we have discussed so far, for you to see the opportunities available at your disposal. There is also ESG specialist. Yeah. We need accountants to be able to report on sustainability, green financing, and those things. And it's a booming field. It's a booming field, for instance, right? So today, SIC PLC, that is a State Insurance PLC, held their annual general meeting, and someone asked a question about sustainability, what they are doing about sustainability, and I think the CFO also responded that, yes, they are in the process. So I think from next year or so in the future, they're going to be starting to prepare sustainability reports. And they are bringing in various initiatives like, buying, using renewable energy sources in the offices, electric vehicles to reduce their fuel prices and all of those things. We need accountants to be in that field. So ESG specialist is a developing field. It's a developing field. So maybe it's an area that may catch your interest so that you can build capacity in that. So maybe from in the next 5 years, you're going to build a capacity in ESG specialism. So what does that mean? It means that 5 years from now, you become an ESG specialist and you're on the board of maybe 3 or 4, 5, 6 companies as an ESG specialist, and you're going to help them structuring green financing, dealing with sustainability issues, and various things. So that's an area you also want to look out for. It's a growing field. Then the last one is, IT, AI, and various things coming up. Data analyst and fintech lead. So accountants who can understand Python and SQL. That means you don't just report on the past, but you're also going to be using that data to reliably predict what is going to be happening in the future. And I would want to say this. It doesn't matter which profession you choose. You must understand that IT is coming in. And a lot of the things that the accountant will do now could be automated. So that is why the ICAG, for instance, the syllabus has been structured the way it is structured. That there are IT issues. That is why the examination is gradually going to become a computerized or a computer-based examination. It is to build the IT capacity of the accountant. So you're not just coming in with, debits the receiver, credits the giver. Creditors have credit balance, debtors have debit balance. You're not just coming in with that, because that can be done by a machine, by a language model. We need you to be able to use that data and understand how that data can help the company to make various decisions. That is what you must understand when it comes to some of the things in this area. Then certainly from next year, hopefully, the Bank of Ghana is coming up with Islamic finance, right? It's a new field, Islamic finance. It's a new field that is developing, and there are in part of Europe, there are dedicated MBA programs on Islamic finance, and there are dedicated people in the accounting field on Islamic finance. So, and this is coming to Ghana. So if you're in Ghana, BOG is wrapping up on the framework to be able to launch that in 2026 or so. So it's an area you have to also build capacity, because various Islamic financial instruments may be introduced. How do we account for them? How do we put them together? How do we ensure that at the end of the day, the company is able to make money? Is it Ijara? Is it Musharaka? Is it Sukuk? What kind? How do we structure it? You will be coming in to help the company to do that. You help it can be a bank, it can be another finance, it can be a venture capital company, and the venture capital company will need people like you to come in with the finance people to structure the Sukuk or the Mudaraba or Mudaraba or Musharaka, whatever it is, you structure it to make sure that the transaction is having substance and the entity can make some money at the end of the day. Then after the structuring, we need people also who can record it in the financial statement, both in the books of the financial provider, either the bank or the venture capital firms, and in the books of the other entity. And I think we've discussed this already. You can check the YouTube channel on this BOG framework on Islamic finance. We did a video on this in the past, so certainly it's available and you can check it out. But this is an area that is also developing in Ghana. So you are a young professional, you want to start thinking and building capacity as early as possible. As I said, there are various online courses available outside of Ghana that you can take that helps you to build your capacity here. Because if that is launched and companies are looking for people who will be able to, who carry this expertise to help them, then you will be an attractive person that can help them to be able to do it. Then the last one is, not the last one. There are various other opportunities, but another one is to become a teacher. You can be a teacher like in Nhyira Premium, right? So you can be a teacher. How many of you want to be teachers? Okay? Teachers are broke, so nobody wants to be a teacher. You see your life? Teachers are broke, so either you don't want to be a teacher, you want to be a banker, you want to be accountant, but you could also be a teacher, a lecturer. Okay, maybe let me polish it. You don't like teacher, you're a lecturer, all right? Lecturing in the business department, in the universities here in Ghana or outside of Ghana. So you are in academics. In other words, it means that you are not using your knowledge, your expertise in the business world. You are just purely academics. That is another route available as well. So those of you who would love to teach, there is a huge opportunity available. Okay, as I said only that in this part of the world, we've developed a certain mind that the blessing of the teacher is in heaven. So the teacher must die literally and go to heaven, then they can get their blessing. I don't know who came up with that though, but I don't know who came up with that, but that is what we have. Give me a sec. I think my TikTok feed is misbehaving a little bit. What? Unavailable. Please give me a sec. Oh, what's going on? For some reason, my TikTok feed is misbehaving. So you can be a lecturer, okay, or a teacher, and make some money. As I said, in our part of the world, they said the teacher's blessing is in heaven. But you must structure yourself or your life in such a way that that mindset doesn't come on you. All right? Because I can't wait to go to heaven before I enjoy my blessing. Whilst the politician and everybody else is enjoying their blessing in Ghana, in the world, media should live wretched and go to heaven. If I reach heaven, I'll become Ukrasini. I wouldn't be able to flex in heaven. So it all depends on you, what options you can take generally at the end of the day. Oh, what's going on? Okay. My TikTok is back. Sorry. So these are the various career opportunities available. So again, if you check, you will realize that there is a lot here. Okay? There is a lot that you can become. There is a lot that you can do. And that is why the accountancy profession is an attractive one. It's a respected one, and it's a high-paying one if you find the right thing, because there are a lot of opportunities available. So if you are sitting down and wondering, okay, what are the career opportunities available? There you have it. If you're sitting down and wondering, and the only thing you know is, hey, when I finish my ICA, I need to get an audit firm to work in. No, you don't need. The audit firm is just less than 10% of the market share that accountants can operate within. So all these alternatives are available. And as I said, especially if you are somebody who is young and you are building capacity, then you want to build a capacity into those new areas, the developing areas that I spoke about, ESG, data analytics or data analyst and fintech lead. Then the issue about Islamic finance, and then the church. Okay, the church. Because whether I like it or not, all right, whether I like it or not, there will be a time coming, churches will be properly regulated. Like they do in America, they do in the UK and other parts of the world. It will be done. So what we need is to be able to build capacity. And as I said, that is why when I see somebody saying that, the government wants to tax the church, it is demonic. I'm like, no. Because if you take that argument and go to America, if you use that same argument in UK, you'll be in jail very soon. All right? Because imagine you're a pastor in the UK, you pray for somebody and the person gives you money and you're like, and the Bible said that bring the tithe and offering or bring the reward into the house and the man of God will be fed on it. Go and say that in England. Go to America and go and say that. You will be jailed easily. Easily. That is why the churches need organization, reorganization, bringing in professionals, tax experts to design their systems for them, their operations for them, so you don't have to be bothered about taxes from the government. Why? Because you have everything at your disposal and you don't have to pay tax on anything. That is what we must understand. And these are areas that if you're a young professional accountant coming up, look into it, open yourself up, learn more about it, develop the capacity, because whether you like it or not, there is market for these things. Any questions for me? Any questions for me quickly? Remember that we are going to our registration for our lectures for the March 2026 is ongoing, so you can register to start studying. Our live lectures will be starting on the 8th of December. Yes, 8th of December 2025. So next week, Monday, we're going to be starting lectures. So you can register now to start studying with our previous videos as you put yourself in the position to go into the exam and pass the examination. And also, you can get access to our books as well. Give me a sec. Let's see. I am seeing some comments coming up. I still cannot. No, not. Is it this one? Let's see if I can bring up anything here. Kweku Adomako said, bro, I love your work. Thank you. Kweku Adomako. Who else? Education of Commerce 66 says, hello, say hi. Education of Commerce 66 on YouTube. Okay, what else do I have? Let's see if I have anything here on TikTok. I don't know. We need to fix this because my comments are not loading properly. I don't know why. Okay. So that is it about that, and that is what we wanted to share with you. Again, in the preliminary issues, so you understand. As if you missed the previous lecture that we did on the scope of the ICAG syllabus, the subject combination, the entry requirement, and all of those things, please check our YouTube channel. you'll be able to get access to that video or those videos and watch them, okay, on the YouTube channel. They are available. And today's own, make sure you go through them very well to understand what is happening in that particular case. Thanks for joining me on the stream today, and I'm going to be catching you some other time as we continue with our discussion for 2026. Again, remember our registration is ongoing for the examination. So make sure you register, join our community, let us assist you so you can put yourself in a position, prepare adequately, and go into the exam hall, write the exam with confidence, and most importantly, pass the examination. I'll see you. Okay. I'll see you some other time.